whatever that you can share that feels true to you?
I can maybe share my journey, what
Yeah.
brought me or started my journey towards self-love,
Ooh.
and how I got there to where
Yes.
well, because I'm not there. It's still an ongoing journey and process. Like, but kind of what started is conversations with my cousins.
Mhm.
I have a lot of girl cousins, and we're always on our instant messages, like
Uh-huh.
with iPhones, and we just hype each other up. And I have found that in the past, for me, it feels easier and better for me to hype other people up, but they kind of pointed out, like, when it comes to myself, I'm more like self-deprecating or depreciate,
Mm.
whatever, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
I'm very hard on myself, and I can't, and I wasn't showing myself that same love and genuine support, and they called it out in me.
Wow.
And then I did have my first Reiki session with my cousin's ex-husband. He is going through to become certified, and well, I think he's already, but
Yeah.
he needed to perform,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he did one for me, and one of the messages that he gave me, and I had not talked to him at all, was about, he was like, you're blocked here in the sense of you don't show yourself that same love, and why not? Just talking freely with him, and it's like, it feels like I don't deserve it. It feels like other
Mm.
people deserve it more than I do.
Mhm.
So it was harder for me to show that to myself, because I felt like I had to earn it, and I hadn't earned it. And other things
Mm.
had made me feel, things that you go through,
Yeah.
relationships or what have you, that again made me feel unworthy. From there, it kind of sparked that quest to, how do I find it? And I was posed all kind of questions, because then I started therapy and stuff. And again, same thing comes up: self-love. How do you talk to yourself, Chastity? And I'm like, well, there is this, internal dialogue that, even though other people are like, oh gosh, you're so great, those things, they go in one ear and out the other, because
Yeah.
yes, that's my personality, but it doesn't seem like something that's worth love, if that makes sense, if that's just how
Mhm.
I am. It seemed so. The quest started with like answering questions, and finding workbooks on like Amazon to figure out what self-love even looked like.
Mhm.
So it literally, I have a bunch of, and I haven't finished any of them. They've just been
Mhm.
started, because I go from workbook to workbook to workbook. Let me get some of them. Like, I have, and just reading in general, because being
Oh
you, we
yeah.
love to read. So all kind of
Yeah.
books on self-love and healing, but the
Ooh, oh my
journal.
gosh. I'm
So
thinking about did you do the course that
I
goes with
haven't done
that?
the course. I just read her first book and
Oh
bought
my
her
gosh.
journal. So that,
Yes.
the self-love workbook
Ooh,
for
that looks
women.
good.
If you've heard of Alex L, I have just read one of
Mm.
her other books, and this one just came out, but it has great entries for you to answer questions, and then affirmations for Black women.
Ooh.
Each one asks a question.
Ye-
And even with my therapist, like, she sends me reflection
Mm.
prompts.
Wow. That's
So
so
it's
nice.
always homework. Like, she says, hi, Chastity. These are the prompts. As a child, I need it. It's not my fault that I realized I was bothered by this, when, with everything that's happened, it's still difficult for me to acknowledge, because like all these things contribute to why I kind of had those blocks for
Yeah.
self-love, or feeling, for me, worthy of A, B, or C. So in that, I also had to figure out what love looked like for me, or kind of like places I could find love. Like, what do I love? And
Mm-hmm.
I was doing so much for everybody else. I'm the person that I will feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, very people pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a say in the things that I love to do. So I spent, the time during the pandemic finding the things that, brought me joy, even if I had to do them alone, because like I'm single and I felt like at that particular time, nobody wanted to do the things that I wanted to do. I was either felt for me, it felt like begging somebody to come, do
Right.
this with me or waiting for them and miss the opportunity because nobody wants to do it. So finally just saying, do it alone, do it scared. So that is how I like found, the Well Read Black Girl book club
Yeah.
and even Outdoor Afro, because
Wow.
either they're things I wanted to do but was afraid of
Hmm.
and just took the chance. So,
Yeah.
and I found those relationships.
That's so cool. Did you make it do that thumbs up?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
I don't know where that came. I thought you were doing it.
I know. Maybe there's some new smart technology because I feel
No.
like you did that and then it just showed up and I was like, whoa,
Oh,
that's
okay.
cool.
Yeah, no, I thought you were throwing it. I don't know. I ain't touching nothing.
I
Or
didn't
maybe
either.
it's something in here that's affirming. I don't know. No. But those were the things that like helped me to find people also,
Mm-hmm.
because that was another thing. I kept praying like, God, I really don't feel like I have friends or people
Mm.
that I connect with. I felt lonely in that sense,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I just want to meet people who like the same things that I want to meet. And my cousins again challenged me. They were like, well, you ain't gonna meet anybody in your bedroom. Well, why don't you just shut up? Like, I don't want to go out because I'm naturally introverted. Like, I'm not a very talkative person or anything like that. I stay, in my mind and to myself. I don't know if that's like the Aquarius in me. Like,
Oh, yeah,
who knows?
maybe.
Um,
Yeah.
and it just makes me feel, I get very nervous. Um, but they were like, and I just kept reading books. Do it scared. Do it scared. You either are going to stay the same and not get
Mm-hmm.
anything different, or for me, I just said, you gonna try something different. What's the worst that can happen? You get
Mm-hmm.
rejected.
Mm-hmm.
Rejection is kind of just like practice. You're gonna face it regardless, and just not learning not to take those things personally, because, and I'm still learning, it's not a reflection of my worth,
Mm-hmm.
because I was taking so many things personally that were, again, not a reflection. And Lucy taught me this, the Q-tip method. Quit taking it
Mm.
personally.
Oh, I
QTIP.
like that.
Right. So, because I took so many things, and a lot of things just aren't about us that other people do. So that's again how I found Well Read Black Girl Book Club. Met a lot of great people. Still talk to them or interact with them. Those relationships, like me and you, that's how we met.
Yeah.
It's people I would never really come across and spend the
Uh-huh.
time to have a conversation with, but we end up finding through our love of books, or just wanting to try something different there. And then I invite them other places like the Outdoor Afro, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an outdoorsy person. I tell people all the time, like, I wasn't a hiker or anything like that, but I love different activities and I love trying
Mm-hmm.
things. So if all it takes is for me to coordinate an activity for us to try it together, why not? Because I want to
Mm-hmm.
be that connection for people where, hey, I'm not good at it either. I've never done it, but let's try it together. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know until you try. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that is kind of how I found, for I guess for me, self-love is just doing the things that I love, because it is
Mm-hmm.
pouring, it's filling my cup up.
Yeah.
And before,
I
I
love
felt
that.
so empty because I didn't have anything to do. You can scroll on social media for hours and hours, but is it filling you up with anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because, well, you are one of the people. Whoa, I feel like my voice was loud. You are one of the people on social media that does fill me up
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, because every time I see all the activities you're doing, I think, oh, that looks fun. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
want to be there. When you went curling recently, I remembered I had found out about that curling group a year ago and meant to
Mhm.
go, but never did. And then I was telling my husband, I said, hey, remember there's a curling group? We could go try that out. And
Absolutely.
and like you say, I love how it sometimes it feels a little bit more fun to do something in a group when you've never done it. And hey, if I go to this curling thing, I have no idea what I'm doing. But if I'm doing it with other people and
Mhm.
we're all just trying it out and having fun, you never know. Like it could be the next big thing that becomes a passion. I mean, the people running that curling club, did they know that was going to be their passion one day? They probably
Right.
didn't. They just
Mm-mm.
tried it out.
And that's exactly literally how when they did their introduction, they said
Yeah.
had never heard of it, had never played it, but they came to the same, introduction because it was free. Guess
Yeah.
what? I love free. So if it's free, I want to try it out.
Yeah.
And they had stuck with it, for years, and they just had the best energy. And it was another thing I don't think people necessarily can appreciate. We try to stay in these homogenous groups. Like, I want people that are my age, my race.
Right. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
all ages. And that's where, when I'm in these groups, I'm meeting people of all ages and races. And when you look at
Mm,
my pictures, it's always a melting pot of people. Like,
mm-hmm.
people, how do you know all these different people? Be- because I just put myself out there and try to meet people where they are. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
learn so much and it builds so much more value in your life. Like, so.
Mm. Oh my gosh. I feel so much happiness in my heart and joy. And I also think you're being, while you're making yourself happy, it's also you're bringing other people together, inspiring other people. Like I said, you always inspire me. And and it's just such this cool thing of sometimes I think when you first start trying to have more self-love, it feels like you said, you're coming from a place of, am I worth it? Is this worth it? Whatever. But the further you go into it, the more it's like everything gets better
Mm-hmm.
in all these areas. And it's I mean, I know that organizing groups takes energy, doing these things takes energy, but I'm also, and correct me if I'm wrong, but getting a sense of like, but then the after effects of all of that
Definitely.
activity is really this amazing effect.
Yes, definitely. Because I did have to pull back from,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word, owning or being the
Yes.
leader of all the
Yes.
groups.
Right.
Because yes, that for me drains my energy, the coordinating part,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, in that sense, it's like, don't ask me a bunch of questions because I don't know till we get there. Like, I've never done this before. And people, I get the curiosity, but also I'm an Enneagram 5. So when I don't know the questions, that goes back to, well, I'm not competent. So I think it all plays into that worth for me. So if I can't answer your questions, I don't feel like I'm worthy of being the leader. It's a rabbit hole. But so I'll
Yes.
worry up until the event. But when the event is there, I'm like, yay, all the people you came. Thank you for supporting. So I get the most value from the day
Mm.
of the people, the feedback, the
Mm-hmm.
planning part. mm, I wish I could just show up too. I don't like the responsibility. That I
Yeah.
will say.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And are there other people who plan with you now? Like I know, well, Red Black Girl Book Club, now somebody else is
hmm
facilitating or
They're working
however
on
you
it.
want to call it. But oh yeah.
They just had the leadership applications open, and I think within the next month they're going to be letting people know who else was selected, because as you know, our group is supposed to also serve Asheville, but I'm here in Greenville,
Mm,
so most of our events are more local to Greenville. So I think
yeah.
they're working on getting somebody to serve that Asheville area, because I'm just not as familiar with
Yes.
them.
I should brainstorm if I know anybody there who might be interested since I used to live there. Anyway, I'll see. Or I could ask some people if they could
Yeah, because there's
get in
no
touch with
age
you.
limit at all or anything. It's, do you love the outdoors and do you have a passion for bringing that recreation to, people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Do so there's a few things I'm curious about. Like one, how have you been navigating, like you said, you took on what feels like a bunch of things, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is good, but also I'm one person.
Mm-hmm.
How did you then, like, was it also a thing of a process of self-love to say, these I'm going to step back from, or these I'm going to try and do this differently?
Oh,
I'm curious
definitely.
about that, because I feel like that's a real tangible thing that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people feel, of all of a sudden you're kind of in too deep.
Yes.
And the people pleasing part of you is a little bit like, oh, what now?
Yes. And that is where, for me, therapy came into play, because
Mm,
that people pleasing is at the forefront, because I was literally worried about letting people down. Like, and so multiple sessions of me telling my therapist the same things, like, oh, these are the feelings that I have, but this. And so it felt like I was, on a seesaw, and her reiterating, to me, and talking through those emotions, and giving me, I don't know what kind of guidance, whatever that therapy does, it
yeah,
helped
yeah,
me
yeah.
to see that, you know, I have to not sacrifice myself either. And because I wasn't getting any enjoyment out of it. And
Mm,
it in turn caused other things, like the worry, and worry causes like cortisol buildup, which causes weight
mm.
gain, which causes, it's a
Wow, I
domino
didn't
effect.
know that. Or maybe I did know that, but forgot that.
Absolutely. And I had other stressors because I had started, a new job. So it was it,
Right.
it was a lot. And when I say, again, with being single, I don't always have someone to necessarily talk to that isn't impartial,
Yes.
because people, they want to tell you you're great, you're the, and it is very appreciated, but I also need someone there to give me, fact-based, evidence-based reality, like, it's okay to put yourself first. That is a form of self-love.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh my gosh, so true. Well, and maybe you've always been this way, and maybe it's self-love and therapy, but like you also seem to be really reflective and
Mm-hmm.
noticing. Were you always that way, or do you think that's been a part of this process too? Is that skill or quality in you increased?
I think as I've gotten older,
Mm,
I've become more reflective in trying to understand the why.
mm.
Because when I would about if you would have come 10 years ago, I was so go, 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 trying to get where I am now, that
Yeah.
I was just reactive, reactive. And in order to try to change that, because what I realized somewhere in there, I can't change people. Why can't I change people? Well, let's understand where everybody's coming from, because all of these things play together.
Mhm.
I think that's what caused the reflectiveness, because it what was there's the book reading. I think the book reading literally opened another rabbit hole too, because they
Wow.
showed me again that the way I am, it comes from my upbringing. My upbringing
Right.
comes from my grandma and my mom, and they had traumas.
Mm.
So
Right.
when I have felt like a failure, it, yes, you may have felt like a failure, but you reacted because of this, not because, the universe is, conspiring against you, or because
Right.
you're a terrible person, you're not smart. No, there are literally circumstances that drove your decisions, and understanding how all those things play together. Um,
Mhm.
because before it was just blame, 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 blame. There is a reason.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so powerful. Do your do your cousins now, are they like, "Hey, tell me what that workbook is," or
Oh, they don't have to be, because I'm like, hey guys, I'm Amazon priming you these books. Can you please do them? Like, I had even organized a bi-weekly, we were doing the Set Boundaries Fine piece. I read that book, and then I got the workbook. I literally, who those that wouldn't buy it, I sent it to them, and everybody else would buy it. And we got on and we discussed it. We went chapter
Wow.
by chapter
Oh my
because
gosh.
we're all, I'm the oldest cousin.
Okay.
And there was a time when I was, again, breaking generational curses for me, for
Yes.
us. When I was the first to do it, I got the backlash and I got the label as I'm being, like insubordinate. Because how could you not take this treatment? We were treated this way by our parents. I didn't know how to articulate that. It just became, we just clashed. And I
Yeah.
separated myself from my family. But as
Mhm.
I learned to be less reactive and more talking about things, that's when my cousin, and they've grown up and they've seen, no, Chastity wasn't those negative things. She was just trying to change, but I didn't know how to communicate it. And now they're
Right.
seeing. So we're all getting to be at this place where we're trying to work through and process how we were raised, what we went through, and where we are now, so that we can change, because we know that we're not stuck the way that we are.
Mhm. Yes. Oh my gosh. You're almost making me cry because I just admire you so much, and what you're doing is so beautiful and powerful. And I keep on, maybe I've told you this before, but the leadership that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like sometimes I feel that people have this idea of like a leader is like a president or the owner of a company or whatever, like the provost at a school or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you're taking this leadership role in your family, and then in the things that you're doing, and in your own life too. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just the effects of that, and how you also have the courage to be exploring, to be vulnerable, to change, or to know something. And even if you don't know, like you said, you didn't know the words why you couldn't go along with what had been okay for generations, but you just knew that you couldn't. And so
Mm-hmm.
now you have the words for it. But even then, it's like you were pushing against it and trying to find your own way. And
Mm-hmm.
that quality is so admirable and so beautiful. I mean, I keep on thinking I could see you writing a book about, I don't know, cousin power, or I'm not even sure. I feel like I wish I had more cousins that have this whole kind of dynamic. But then again, maybe y'all also created that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, we definitely had to cultivate
Yeah.
it, because again, I think the family dynamics,
Yeah.
they are so embedded and
Yeah.
impact everything. To try to condense it, my grandmother is the last of 13. And so she's had siblings, her one of her older siblings passed away. So she ended up raising those siblings,
That
children.
is,
She had 5 children, and then her sister had 5. So that's 10 in one
yeah.
household, the same house that I was raised in. So, but everybody wasn't, formally, adopted and things like that. But family is family. So when you hear me say aunt, uncle, everybody is, because we don't, that's just how we were raised. Um, but also as they got older, they went off and had families and things like that. And when family feuds, that creates and trickles down to the younger ones, because you hear what your parents say.
Right.
So those things have impacted and had impacted our cousin relationships. But we had said, we're not going to let these things impact us. I
Wow.
was the one that took the initiative. Like, maybe it was also out of loneliness. I'm like, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm going to talk to y'all. And I forced them into a group chat.
Yeah.
And we built that, relationship. So, and it's grown, because there was at times that mistrust, because we haven't talked, we only know either what other people have said, and when
Mm,
times we spent together, it has taken, them to be open and vulnerable as well, and saying, y'all, I just went through this. Oh, I've had this experience. So it helps to know we haven't gone through these things. And what do y'all think about this decision I'm about to make? What about this? or I've had a bad day. It's gonna be, let's jump on FaceTime. So it all plays into building and cultivating that trust, because it was not
Mm-hmm.
always there.
That's amazing. I love that you did that. And it's even, I want to bring up something. This has been a personal thing that I go through sometimes, but a lot of people do. Loneliness, we feel lonely,
Oh yes.
and even there's a lot of things about the modern world that kind of push us even more in that way. And I was reading something recently because I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's that, back to what you were saying before, kind of about the self-talk we have about the things happening. It's like, it's very easy to make feeling lonely into this, no one likes me, or I don't have
Yes.
people, or to have all this drama around the loneliness of it, rather than just say, I'm lonely, I need a group, I'm going to do this thing. And you didn't, and who knows, maybe part of the time you were dwelling in the, oh, I feel so bad for myself because I'm lonely. But I love how, even if you were feeling self-pity or sadness, you push through it and you're like, I have a need, I'm going to do this. And also, you in the group creating, like you said, the vulnerability and the conversations and the trust, because like one kind of implicit belief that I had growing up, and that I think a lot of people have, is that family should just get along just because. But it's like, even if that's a goal, it doesn't mean because everybody wants it that it's going to happen. Like, you actually have to do things, have the
Right.
conversations, or go through workbooks together, or whatever it is, explore and be vulnerable and make changes. And so I love how you all, because even before asking, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they probably just were always close, and that's how it was, and that's just how it was, but in asking, I find out, no, like, it wasn't that you were always the closest cousins, arms linked together
No.
every
Right.
holiday or whatever. But now it sounds like you are all close, and it is that community, and you're all growing, and all the great things that we can get when we have people who care about us. It's like shared experiences, and people to help when you're going through a hard time, but they've already gone through a hard time like that.
Right. And it even opened up for us to share, like, once I even shared to you, it opened it up to where we could talk to each other individually. And because
Uh-huh.
they also have perceptions of like how I was raised, or I have perceptions on how they were raised, and we were able to talk through, like, no, this is what was really going on, and this is, and so you get to understand those things. I will say The Power of Vulnerability by Brene Brown,
Oh
that
yeah.
was one of it's an audible that I have.
Mhm.
Is I don't know if it's a book, but it seemed like it was just
I think it
podcast or
is.
something.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know. Listening to that really helped open up, because I had a lot of trouble with that vulnerability, because vulnerability is very hard because it's exposure.
Yes.
And what you say, it feels like it can be held against you.
Yes.
But I think listening to her and knowing that, or hoping that there's this inherent thing in other people that they desire that too, or maybe the group that you're attracted to, the people that you're supposed to be with, they will have and accept and respect that vulnerability. So I think that's the part that where we get in our life, is like, do people really, do the right people, finding those right people, because
Yes.
everybody, as you know, doesn't have that heart.
Right. Yes. Yes. True. Right. Because it's, if we all just were vulnerable everywhere we go, some people are going to be like, whoa, like, I'm just trying to, make your appointment here, and you're at this
Yeah.
place giving me all your business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is finding that the people that we feel safe to do that with, and
Hmm.
letting them know those parts of ourselves, because I know even though I know how good it is to do that, it's hard for me sometimes to think,
Mhm,
okay, I'm gonna be this way. Although, ironically, I don't know if this ever happens for you. There's some people that they can ask me. This happened last week. Somebody asked me a question. 10 other
mhm.
people could have asked me the same thing, and I would have given them whatever kind of answer. But the way he asked me, I just started telling him like the real truth. And then I'm thinking, I don't know why these words are coming out of my mouth telling this person I
Yeah.
hardly know all these things.
Maybe it's
But
that intuition too, though. Like, I feel like our
yes,
intuition tells us
yes,
you need to leave yes and no is
right.
where it's gonna be at. Or
Yes,
so
yes,
probably that.
yes. And I think you're right. Because the thing I will say is it felt that this person really cared and wanted to
Mhm.
know the answer, not just "How are you?" "Oh, I'm fine." Yeah,
Right, right.
it was more than a "How are you?" question, but yeah, sometimes we can tell that someone they really do wanna know, they really are
Mhm.
ready to listen, or they really do deeply care, and it's letting them care for us, loving
Absolutely.
ourselves enough to let other people engage with us in
Mhm.
the hard days and the good days.
Right, right.
Yeah. Well, and being the other thing about vulnerability that I feel like you did that was pretty it showed up in many of the things is going and trying out something new. Like it is
Mhm.
vulnerable to I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
my mind about the curling is, oh, what if I go and I slip on the ice and then I fall on my butt and then, there I am. Not that it's that big of a deal, but there's all the thoughts about I'm going to make a fool of myself if I go try something new that I've never done and everybody else knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
So the vulnerability of let's all go try this new thing or let's go do something that we haven't done before and
Mhm.
see how it goes because you really don't know. And it's like you said, back to the loneliness. So many people may be feeling lonely, but you're not going to
Mhm.
meet somebody at home. Or even if you connect with someone online, like, can you take the connection further? If intuitively it feels safe to do that, it's like getting out
Mhm.
in the world so you can engage with and meet the people who can be your community, who can be your cousin group chat,
Mhm.
powerful people who cheer you on and hype you up.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
also, I don't know why, but it popped up in my mind. I think it's also important too, is for Black people to go to those spaces where they don't feel like they belong, because there is value, and there may be and there may not be, someone that you can connect with.
Mhm.
I had done the curling myself, all by myself, during,
Oh.
I want to say it was 2021 that I
Uh-huh.
did it. But again, thoughts that run through my head: I'm going to be the only Black person. I'm going to be
Yeah.
by myself. I was, because people, tend to come in pairs, at least to those
Yes.
things. But it is okay. Usually, for the most part, I've always been embraced in these places, or I'm not going for other people. I'm going for being my fun. And I had a ball, you
That's
know?
so nice. Yes. Oh, I'm
So
glad
I
I'm
read
glad you
somewhere, do it scared, do it
yeah.
scared.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, and I love Do It Scared, and I love the encouragement you just gave because I've been into the outdoors and hiking since I was younger. And in college, I was in environmental groups who
Mhm.
they were talking about the fact that it was mostly all white people, but and maybe this is just like the what do you call it? The
The stigma.
perspective of the
Hmm.
people who were the leaders of the group or whatever, but they didn't know how to fix that problem.
Right.
And me going in, I'm like, well, I'm a student in college. I don't know how to fix this problem either. Cause in my mind, I'm like, I didn't know all the history of of how like the outdoor industry or outdoor activities weren't necessarily receptive or feeling open. But one of the things I love about Outdoor Afro, and I follow a bunch of other folks online who they are all about like, yes, let's make this space inviting. Let's
Yep.
because to me, I'm such a nature lover, and I think nature is for everyone. And I believe it should be a right that everyone has access to trees, to grass, to
Absolutely.
all of that, you know.
You
And
get
I'm so excited to tell you about the newly released Talk to the Trees, written by myself, Rachel Strivelli. Talk to the Trees is a short book about connecting to the wisdom of the trees, actually literally talking to them, metaphorically talking to them, learning from the wisdom of these elder beings. What can we gain from them in terms of resilience, how to get through hard times, how to approach the times that we're in? What do trees know about love, family, and connection, and dealing with hardships of life? You can buy it at the places linked below. I would love it if you check it out, share it with a friend, buy it for a friend, and spread the word.
so much from it.
Yes, and it relates to health, it relates to happiness, all of these things. And so, but for some people, depending on where you live, if it's an area without a lot of
Yep.
trees or without a lot of park space, then you have a lower quality of life than somebody who
Absolutely.
doesn't have access to it. So I love the leadership and the courageousness of you and Outdoor Afro and other people who are creating those spaces where it feels like, okay, well, if you're Black and you don't want to be the first person to show up knowing you're going to be the only
Right.
one, here's a space you can go into that is centering your experience, that is inviting you. And also, you know, for me, it's like, as a white person, I want to go and be honoring and centering you and everyone else, and enjoying the outdoors together,
Absolutely.
and loving that whole experience, and loving that those are small changes we're making for our own lives, but also hopefully beyond
The
that.
future. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
everything that you just said just resonates, like with even with the benefits. Like it wasn't until I was in Outdoor Afro and I started, walking and hiking more, because I thought, oh, I'm not gonna like those things. Now hiking is still, we're working on enjoying
Yeah.
that. But I like the walking in nature portion more,
Yeah.
because the explorer in me, I want to see everything. I'm like, I go to Chasity Nature
I
Preserve,
was
and
just thinking, I love that
yes,
place.
oh, it's so beautiful. But I would have never, I've lived in Greenville going on 8, 9 years. And it wasn't until I was in Outdoor Afro that I had ever gone.
Wow.
Exactly. Turtles, all different kind of birds, just hearing those, you know, the sounds of nature is calming. And I work a
Mhm.
stressful job and I'm indoors remote all day. It relaxes me, and I know it has to bring my blood pressure down. So
Oh,
it's like I
yeah.
want those other people to experience that. I learned about grounding and how important it is to put your bare feet in grass and
Mhm.
things, having sunlight, breathing fresh air, like
Mhm.
so many things. And all you have to do is step outside your door.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true. Yeah. Mm. Well, and I'm not sure exactly what to say next, so
It's okay.
because you just wrapped it all up and said it in the best way. And I hope someone listening is thinking, "Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I haven't given the park in my town a chance
Hmm.
because I just thought it's just a bunch of trees and grass."
Hmm.
But it really can, like you said, especially if your job is stressful, it
Hmm.
can be so soothing to your soul and to your nervous system,
Hmm.
lowering your blood pressure and all of that. And it really is something that it's it's easy to take it for granted because
Hmm.
we can just drive by trees or bushes all the time. But when you're around a whole little forest or grove
Right.
of that and hearing the birds, like you said, it's something really peaceful. And we we all could use a little bit more of that peace. Because
Mhm.
sometimes, and maybe you found this with all the workbooks and stuff you went through, it's also hard if you're stressed out to say,
Yes,
oh, now I'm going to go home and work on myself for an hour. Or like, I don't,
absolutely.
like that doesn't seem like the next natural choice.
Absolutely. When I'm stressed, I don't know what to do. Like it's everything is overloaded, and
Yes.
honestly, I just want to lay in the bed, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it's decompressing or just escaping everything. So, one
Yeah.
thing I say is, even with it, find what just brings you joy, and not what other people think should bring you joy, because everybody has a perception of what self care is. You got to go to the spa, you
Right.
got to meditate for 3 hours. That may seem intimidating. I
Mm-hmm.
can I can hardly meditate without it being guided, because
Yeah.
the quiet, immediately something creeps in. It's like, did you turn off that kettle? Did you like? So what brings me joy may not bring another person joy, but if collecting postage stamps or what have you, find those things. And I found that Meetup and Facebook, there is literally a group for everything. And it always amazes me how people find like outdoor Afro, especially people that aren't from like Greenville.
Yeah.
They'll tell me, "Oh, I'm from Boston, I'm from DC. I found this group on Facebook that likes to do parkour." I I would always think I'm not going on Facebook to find, but there are genuinely vetted places where you can find safe spaces for that
Mm-hmm.
thing that you do love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about finding those are your people.
Yeah. That's true. And did you start the Greenville chapter of Outdoor Afro? It
Oh,
was
of
already there?
outdoor Afro. That's a weird story. It started in Asheville, and when I became a leader, they were like, "Oh, they're right next door to each other. Would you be okay with taking both places?" And I was like, "Sure." So it's officially the Asheville network. I just made it to be like Greenville and Asheville, so we are close.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Because I was bringing that up because I wanted to share for the listeners, the viewers, that it's possible if you, let's say you go to a thing and it's not a safe space, it's not an
Mhm.
affirming space, perhaps then it's an invitation to create your own group, like Outdoor Afro or Well Read Black Girl or whatever,
Absolutely.
because as you are saying, you or I might be feeling something. There's probably
Mhm.
10 other people feeling that too who aren't starting the group. But
Mhm.
if the group begins, I'm in a sketchbook group from Meetup. I haven't actually gone in a while, but there's so many people. The woman started it, and within a
Mhm.
year, at every meeting, there's 10 or 12 people. They're just sketching together in sketchbooks.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and so, like you said, there are so many groups, and if there isn't a group, you get to start one to say, hey, my group is this, it's affirming, it's safe, it's
Get it. Absolutely. Because that's another thing that I really enjoy doing. I just like trying new things. So
Mhm.
I'm a serial hobbyist.
Me
So
too.
there you go.
Yeah.
So I will comb it, literally get on Google or comb like the libraries, things that are coming up, and I just want to go to everything. I'll
Oh,
circle it, and I'm like,
yes.
I'm going to this. This is how I find these things. It's not that
Mhm.
people are always like, Chesty, you're always doing something. I don't even know half the time what I'm getting into, but what if it sparks joy? What if like you said, it
Yes.
turns into the thing that I love? So,
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. Well, that's a great note to end on. Do you, if there's a viewer, a listener who wants to follow you, connect with you, do you want people to
yeah,
follow you online, or should they just be
sure.
inspired by you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Chasity Chat. So that's where you can find me. That's really the only place right now. So,
Yeah,
but yeah.
that's
Or
awesome.
join us if you're in Greenville with
Yes.
Outdoor Afro or the Well Read Black Girl Book Club.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Meetup with Outdoor Afro, and the Well Read Black Girl is through M. Judson Booksellers.
Yes. And even if people are just passing through town, they
Hmm.
could come to an outdoor Afro event, right?
Oh, absolutely. There are over 32 networks
Oh,
throughout the
nice.
nation, mostly in the major cities. So if you go to
Yes.
outdoorafro.org, there's a list of Northeast, Southwest, all the different networks. And there's a leader that guides at least one event every month where it's hiking, biking, kayaking, you name it. We're out there as leaders doing it. So go
I
meet your
love
people.
it. I love it. It just brings tears of joy to my eyes and makes
Oh
my heart so happy. Chastity, thank you so much for
yes,
inspiring and encouraging everyone. We're going to do it scared. We're going to find a
absolutely,
group or create a group,
absolutely.
and we're just going to get out there and lower our stress and feel good and make connections and be vulnerable.
I love it.
If you are in business, let's give you that clarity and support to help get you on the right track. So many times I will be on a webinar or a call with someone who's well-known thought leader or successful business person, and they'll say, try out these 6 things or try out these 4 things. We don't know what's going to work. We're not a psychic. Well, I am a psychic, and I can't always tell you guaranteed exactly what'll work 100% of the time, but I can tell you what is not going to work for you. So if you could narrow down those 6 to 8 things you could do to 1 or 2 things, that would save you massive amounts of time, massive amounts of energy. Book a session, book to work with me for a package of sessions, and let's get you that support in your business. Let's not waste the time trying out all the things that spirit can confirm ain't going to work for you. And let's hone in on the areas that are going to work for you. So you can already put your energy into them, your confidence into them, your momentum, and you can start to build and you can increase that energy, success, abundance, and impact that you truly want to create. The booking link is below. See you soon.